Yo, what's up, Viv fam? I know everyone has been dying to hear my amazing review of this new Uzi record. It's been the thought on everyone's mind lately, and you probably haven't been able to get much, if any, sleep just thinking about it. So I figured today is the day to drop this review. So here we go. I'm gonna give my thoughts on Lil Uzi Vert's new album, Pink Tape, as I've listened to it probably 10 times now, and I think that's enough for me to give a thorough review of it. So yeah, let's start this off with the first track, Flooded the Face. I actually really love this song, so I'm going to get it out of the way. My favorite album from Uzi is Love is Rage 2. And this first song on Pink Tape, Flood the Face, reminds me so much of Early 20 Rager. And I love Early 20 Rager. Early 20 Rager is such a weird song, but the hook on this, where it's like, flooded the face, mad at the wraith, that is so similar to Early 20 Rager. I love it. I love how also he has that girl in this intro that's like, Uzi, not again. I love that, dude. That's the same thing that they did in the Love is Rage 2 intro. I think is the same thing they did in Love is Rage 1. So I like how she's throughout like a bunch of these albums. I think that was really cool. So yeah, that hyped me up pretty much for the rest of this thing. I'm gonna scroll up here, see what's the next song. Suicide Doors. Yeah, Suicide Doors I think is kind of long. I feel like they could have cut it a little bit down. But I do like it. I do kind of dislike though. He does this thing throughout the whole album where he goes like, ah, and I really don't like that sound. I'm like, oh man, this isn't really it. I do think this song is good though. I don't hate it. It's not a song that I would add to my playlist. I don't think it's that good, but it's good enough to where if it came on, I wouldn't skip it. And yeah, I think it's a good song. I like it. I think it fits on the record pretty good. That's the next song, right? Yeah, A featuring Travis Scott. When I first heard this song, I was like, oh my god, this shit is awful, dude. Like, this is garbage. Travis's feature, oh my god, he's like not even doing anything on this song. But now I don't think it's still a song that I would put in my playlist, but it's not bad, not as bad as like I originally thought. I do think it's a bit repetitive. The yeah, 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 flooded throughout the whole chorus. And then saying whatever, whatever, a. I do think it's a bit much, super repetitive, but it's a pretty hype song. It would probably go crazy at concerts. And I don't even mind Travis's part anymore. I actually think it's pretty good, which is wild. Just how I can think one thing when I first hear it, and then you listen to it a couple times and you're like, okay, this actually isn't that bad. So yeah, I mess with it. I think it's fine. The next song, Crush 'Em, I love when, and Yeet does this all the time. That's why I really like Yeet. I love how in the background of the song he goes like, "Ooh." I love that shit, dude. That is awesome, man. So I love that. I also love the hook on this. I know I just criticized the previous song A for having a hook that was like, yeah, yeah. And the hook on this song is just crush 'em, yeah, crush 'em, yeah. And he does that way more than the other song, but it doesn't even feel that long on this because he'll say that and then he'll add another layer of him saying that on top of it, and then the background, vocals coming in and shit like that. So I don't mind the song at all. I actually think the song is so good. I added it to my playlist, which is pretty wild. Same thing with this next song, Amped. I really like Amped. I love when artists do like vocal inflections, and he does these crazy vocal inflections throughout this whole song. I would, you know, say what he does and like mimic that, but it would be really cringe, and I'm not going to subject myself to that. So listen to Amped, you'll know what I'm talking about. He goes, hi, just like a drone. All right, that's it. That's all I'm doing. That was really cringe. I'm sorry, but that's what he does on the song. I think it's really fire. I like the hook on this thing. I love the verses. I think the song is just great in general. It's a perfect length. It's not too long. It's not too short. Really like it. Added that to my playlist as well. X2 is another one that I really like. I think the song is fire. I love when he does that super high pitched voice and he like lathers it in auto-tune. I think that sounds fire as hell. Travis Scott does the same thing a lot. And I just love that. So yeah, X2 is another fire song. I love how on 1:05 I think it is in the song, he disses one of his fan pages, And so I looked at that fan page, and that person has deleted all of their posts. They're like so pissed off, which I think is really funny. But yeah, X2 is a really cool song. I really like it. I love the beat on that thing too. The beat is really cool. The next song, Died and Came Back. It's okay. I don't really like the hook. It's a super forgettable song in my opinion. I just don't really like it that much. There's not much like substance behind it to me. And then the next one, Spin Again, I think is like a really bare bones, like skeletal song, kind of boring. I'm just not a fan of it. That Fire, I think is good. It's not my favorite. I think is good though. I do like his vocal inflections and constant flow changes. And I'm surprised this song has such few views because I think it's fine. Yeah, I think it's fine. So the next song, I Gotta. Yeah, this is another one that I think is like pretty boring, forgettable. I, don't really have any strong opinion on it. It's one of my least favorites on this whole record. And then the next song, Endless Fashion. I really like this song, which is super surprising. It's featuring Nicki Minaj. I really like this song. I don't know why. Nicki Minaj has such a cringe line on her chorus, or hook, whatever. I don't know why I'm saying chorus as if I'm in a choir, but yeah, I don't know. I really like it. Yeah, I don't know why. It's super weird because it's like I don't like Nicki Minaj. I don't think Nicki Minaj is like this great artist or whatever that people like build her up to be. But I do really like her on this song. I've never really liked a Nicki Minaj solo song, but I do think she holds her own on like features. Like, I don't know why this comes to mind as like the first thing, but on that record with Juice WRLD and Future, I think the song is called Afterlife. I think she does pretty good on that. Also, Young Thug's song called, I think it's called Everybody, right? Anybody? I think it's Anybody, actually. Yeah, I think she does fine on both of those songs. So I think she's fine on features, but just her solo stuff I'm just not a fan of. But yeah, I think she does great on this song. Her hook, it's kind of a cringe line, but it's kind of fire. I also love how this song is like an interpolation of whatever that song is called. I don't know what it's called, but it's a song that's like, Blue, Abadi, Abadai. I like how this song is like, it goes off of that, and the hook does that same kind of flow, and the beat's kind of the same. I don't know. I think it's pretty sick. So yeah, I actually really like the song. It's one of my favorites on the whole album, which is, that probably says a lot about me as a person, but I think it's super cool. Mama, I'm Sorry is the next one. I think it's fire. I love the Chief Keef hate being sober line he has on this song where he's like, I hate being sober, I'm a son. I love that. I think it's fire. I love that Chief Keef song as well. So yeah, I thought that part was awesome. And yeah, I think Mama, I'm Sorry is just a fire song. It's just fire. All Alone. This is one of my least favorite songs on the entire album. I think it's super boring. Just not a fan of it. Same thing with this next song, Nakamura. Super boring. I don't like it at all. I would skip it. And then obviously the next song, Just Wanna Rock. I think everybody likes that song. It's pretty fire. Uzi doesn't have really much presence on it. Like, I don't think people listen to Just Wanna Rock for like Uzi's voice. I think they listen to it just for the beat, because he doesn't really do much on it. And this was like the big single coming into this album. So I wasn't sure how this album was going to sound. But yeah, I do like the album overall. But yeah, this song, I like it for sure. But I mean, obviously Uzi just doesn't do much on it, which is fine. I'm just saying. The next song, Fire Alarm. Shit is fire. Shit is absolute fucking fire. Yeah, it's super weird at like the beginning. I think it's a good song, but it's one of those where it's like, I don't know if I would have it on my playlist. It's really experimental and different. I do like whoever those girls are. I think they're called like the Snow Strippers or something like that. That sing like at the beginning. I just think the song is really good. 3 minutes. I like how he pitches his voice down in the song too. It's super weird, super experimental, and I think it's fire. The next fucking dog shit song that comes on is CS, which is a Chop Suey interpolation. Now, I mean, I think it's cool that he's like doing whatever he wants, right? And he's like, oh, I just want to do this shit. But this is a fucking garbage song. You can't do an interpolation of Chop Suey and like expect it to be good, because that song is just goated as fuck. But yeah, this CS thing is absolute garbage. I don't know how anyone could listen to this and be like, yeah, this is fire. Like, dog, just listen to the original one by System of a Down. You know what I mean? But yeah, this. I mean, I didn't go into it expecting, oh man, I think this Chop Suey interpolation by Lil Uzi Vert's gonna be awesome. I'd be out of my mind if I thought that. But yeah, I mean, it's just a garbage song. It's fucking ass. Which is surprising because this song is in between Fire Alarm and Werewolf, and Werewolf is amazing. Uzi doesn't really do much on this song. This is pretty much just a Bring Me the Horizon song featuring like a few splashes of Uzi. But this is one of my favorite songs on the whole record. I think Bring Me the Horizon does a fantastic job on this. Uzi, you know, when he's on it, he does fine too. He's not really on it that much. But yeah, I think Werewolf is one of the best songs on the whole album. The next song, Pluto to Mars, I think it's just meh. It's okay. It's meh. I'm not a big fan of it. Not a big fan of the hook. Like, it's okay. I know the song was previewed like 6 years ago, so I know it's like a 6-year-old song. But yeah, I mean, it's just, it's okay. It is what it is, you know. And then the next one is my favorite song on the entire album, honestly. Patience with Don Toliver. Fucking love this song. When I first listened to this album, actually, the night it released, they had Playboy Cardi's feature on this song, and I thought it was fucking garbage. It was my least favorite song on the whole thing. Cardi does this thing sometimes, and Cardi's one of my favorite artists for sure. But Cardi does this thing sometimes where he does such an insanely high-pitched baby voice that's just obnoxious, and that's what he did on this song. But then obviously it was a mistake, so they removed the Cardi feature, and they put the Don Toliver version on. And yeah, this song is amazing. It's my favorite one on the whole thing. I love when artists do like really weird things. Like they feature Don Toliver, but he doesn't even have a verse, you know? I think that's pretty sick. He's just like background vocals, which I think is fire. So yeah, I love Patience. Think it's amazing. Days Come and Go, I think is a good song too. It's kind of forgettable to me. But when I listen to this whole album like in a row, it makes sense to place it there, and I like it as it's playing. I don't listen to it and I think, God, I can't wait for this to be over. So I don't mind it. I think it's pretty sick. The next song is Rehab, which is one of my favorites on the whole thing. I don't listen to the lyrics at all, so actually probably the first 20 or so times I listened to this album, or listen to the song in specific because I really like the song. I didn't listen to the whole album 20 times. But when I listened to the song, probably the first 20 times, I didn't even know the lyrics were about like a rehabilitation center. I was like, man, this beat is fire, bro. And then obviously like the flows that he does in the whole thing. But yeah, I mean, the lyrics are cool. It is what it is. You know, I don't relate to the song at all. I just think it's a pretty good song. And yeah, it's one of my favorite on the whole thing. I think it's fire. And then the next shit, The End. Oh my God. I actually love this fucking song. I fucking love this song. Okay. I've never heard a baby metal song, but I love how insane everything is. Like it's super hype song, bro. All this like random shit in the background, these like this like loud bass and these random like sounds of like things breaking, and then their hook, which is just like la 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 la. I think it's so like goofy and funny. I mess with it super heavy. Uzi again doesn't have like a big part on this song. It's pretty much just a baby metal song, like the same thing as Bring Me the Horizon. But I think this shit is fire. I really like it. I did not expect to like this at all. I actually didn't really like it my first listen, but now I think it's absolute fire, bro. I mess with it super heavy. And then yeah, the bonus tracks are the last three. Zoom, of course, and Shardai. Zoom, I think is a really good song. I think there's a lot of reverb on it though. Like there's so much reverb on this song that kind of turns me off. I do like the hook though. This is a song that was previewed like 8 years ago. I feel like it probably wasn't that long, but it was probably previewed like 6 years ago. And yeah, I pretty much remember the song word for word because I used to listen to the snippet back then. So yeah, I just remember the song. I think it's pretty good. You know, it is what it is. It's you know, a pretty skeletal song as well. I feel like a lot more could have been known with it, but it's sick. It's chill. Is what it is. And then the next song, of course, which is another bonus track, I think would have fit a lot better on Eternal Atake. as like a deluxe or something. This song was actually a preview. It was a snippet back then as well when Eternal Take was coming out. Everyone thought it was going to be on that album, but it just never went on it. And I can tell why, because it's a fucking pretty bad song. I don't like it at all. And then Shardai, I honestly don't remember the song at all. So it's pretty forgettable, probably pretty boring. I don't remember it at all. So yeah, that's my whole thing. What would I rate this album? I'd probably rate it a 6, honestly. I'm not a big fan of it. There are a few bangers. The only stuff I added in my playlist from this whole album, let me look through the track list real quick. Patience for sure. Werewolf. I might add Endless Fashion, honestly. I really like it. That's kind of like a guilty pleasure of mine. X2, Amped, Crush 'em. And that's about it. But yeah. I mean, out of 26 songs, I think that's only like 5 or so. So yeah, I mean, yeah. As a full like album experience though, I think it's good. That's why I would rate it a 6. Obviously, if I'm rating it out of albums or songs I put in my playlist, I'd rate it a lot lower. But I think as like a full experience, is pretty good. I'm probably gonna listen to this album a few more times. That's just what I do sometimes when I'm, working on something. I'll just have like a whole album on, my other monitor, and I'll just play the whole thing. So I'll probably listen to this whole thing a couple more times. But yeah, I've listened to it enough. It came out, how long ago did it come out? It came out 10 days ago. So, I've listened to it every day for around 10 days. And I feel like this is, my rating on it. It's not really going to change. And yeah, that's what I would rate Lil Uzi Vert's Pink Tape. 6 out of 10. Thanks for watching.